What's going on, everyone? It's Darkstrider, and today's Throwback Thursday we are playing the classic Castlevania for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. So this one obviously is one of the two games that kind of kicked off the genre of Metroidvania. It will be Castlevania and it would also be Metroid. The reason that games are classified as Metroidvania is because there's a lot of platforming, there's a lot of jumping, and obviously you collect all kinds of weaponry and do all kinds of attacks. That was primarily the reason that they came out with that name, but obviously at the time they didn't come up with it. It's something fairly new that we had talked about after the whole Nintendo era, after the whole NES era. This game has us playing as SImon Belmont, and of course he goes to Count Dracula's castle in order to destroy him. Obviously every 100 years Dracula will just come out of nowhere, his castle rises, and the way that they started this off was that, this was actually the look of the castle. In Castlevania 2 it had a different look, and every Castlevania after that, clearly the castle changes. It wasn't until, I believe, Symphony of the Night where they explained that the castle will always change as Dracula keeps coming back. Every time he comes back, he changes, the castle does too. And I thought that was a pretty good explanation for it, especially since, every game that we play, every sequel that they have, especially if it deals with the same thing, everything always changes. Just like in all the Zelda games, Hyrule is constantly changing. That was a great explanation as to why this was always changing. So, the castle itself is broken out, I believe, into, I want to say it's just a couple of stages. It's got to be like 7 of them, and at the end of each major round you'll actually battle one of the famous movie monsters, as well as some that are not actually from like our movie structure. For instance, Medusa obviously is not part of the whole monster league that they came up with, which would be Dracula, the Wolfman, the Mummy, things along that nature. But you do deal with a lot of famous horror creatures, obviously zombies, wolfmen, wolves. In this one they have the Panther. I don't know what horror movie involved the Panther, but it's just funny to think that that's what they went with. The castle itself it's pretty straightforward. In all honesty, you could get through this castle with no problem. There are some major areas that, might cause you a little distress. Here's our first boss, actually, and it says stage 3, which is kind of wild. So we're dealing with a giant vampire bat. The funny thing about this is that this vampire bat, later on in the later stages, you'll see that this vampire bat actually is a regular creature, not a boss creature, in one of the stages, which I thought was pretty freaking wild. It just blew my mind that was what they had here. Like that was a thing where you're going through the level and all of a sudden, instead of seeing a small little bat, you're seeing this big bat, and you have to take care of it. So here's the map. This is showing what our next destination is, and obviously in the tower there is Dracula himself. This I'm not going to play through the entire game on this play. If you want to see the entire gameplay, definitely go over to my Dark Retro channel. There's a link in the description below. There I went on a little Castlevania kick, and I'm playing all of the Castlevanias, and they are there. They're being played, and you'll be able to go and take a look at them. I might give it its own playlist over there, and speaking of playlists, over here I think I'm going to start a Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday playlist so that you could see all the older games that have been played, that have been going on. If you want to take a walk down memory lane, and then obviously if you want to go even further down memory lane, you go over to Dark Retro, and there we'll have all kinds of gameplay. You'll see stuff that's not even here, which I think is pretty cool. May even throw in the Game Boy games, honestly. And speaking of that, like, whatever you feel like seeing, if there is a specific old school game you're into, you want to see, you've heard of but haven't had the opportunity, even if it's obscure or like one of those weird ones that, you know, is kind of like a homebrew. For instance, Final Fantasy VII never came out on the original Nintendo, but I actually have the game. I actually have it. It's what's called a demake. They demade Final Fantasy VII. They demade Resident Evil, both of which I have the cartridges for the original Nintendo. You know, again, demakes. Resident Evil and Final Fantasy VII both came out for the Sony PlayStation, and now it's available on the NES. So if you want to see stuff like that, or if you want to see actual classics, definitely let me know, and I'll get it going for you. I'll start playing it. So this level, this is going to lead to the giant Medusa. Again, another non-movie creature. Or, you know, we're gonna go and battle her, but these levels are really jumpy. Later on, they get a little bit more difficult as you go along. Oh, I missed that. But that's the whole point of them. That's the design. So now we'll go over here. We'll try to avoid these things. Oh, I didn't avoid it. There we go. Now I'm gonna have to go and do this again over here. Thank goodness I didn't get that far. So we'll go over here, and we won't have the stopwatch to save us from this. I'm gonna have to be careful. There we go, duck there. And then this one we're gonna have to go. One of the most annoying creatures in this game, these ghosts, they come out of nowhere, and it's kind of hard to get around them. The bats, sometimes you don't see them. These bone pillars, these things are kind of annoying. They do a lot of, you know, just impeding your path. Something like this is kind of easy because obviously it's going to shoot above you, but then you get over here, and sometimes you got to time how you take that swing so that way you destroy the bullet that it fires out. Otherwise, that becomes problematic. Here comes another ghost, going to bother me until I defeat it. The Medusa heads also aggravate me because they just have that weird, like, kind of up and down pattern. And in some cases you could avoid them, some cases you can't. Some cases you anticipate it, you think you got it, and you really don't. So here we go, the Medusa head. She pops right off of the statue, and she launches a bunch of snakes. With the stopwatch, if you had the stopwatch, you could, like, stop the snakes from going. Anything else, just blast them out like this, and you'll be fine. It's, again, she's pretty straightforward. She's not as difficult as, like, the the characters you'll meet later. A lot of bosses you'll meet later get, like, way more annoying as this goes along. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, we'll go to the next stage. They should be showing us the map very soon. And then you'll be able to, like, go. There we go. I like how they added the map. The map was kind of cool. Okay, this one is going to be one of the first difficult stages because this has a lot of jumping, a lot of hidden areas where basically, like, it's really easy for you to, like, be knocked off of a platform. There we go, that ghost is annoying. We'll keep going over here. These guys are annoying as well, Fleamen, or Igor, as you get further into the game. They also have, like, these giant eagles that'll, like, drop these things, and I hate them. Because of their pattern, their operation pattern. It's just so annoying. So very annoying. But we'll keep going. We'll see what happens here. We'll see if we catch a break. This is what I'm talking about when you get further up. you're going to notice there are a lot more gaps, and there's a lot more opportunity for you to take a hit and just tumble down. These ravens are annoying as well. Then you have those skeletons that'll like jump and throw bones and everything as well. See, these ghosts are so annoying. Look at that. There we go. Got them. So here we go. We got to take... There we go. If we didn't take that raven out, what'll end up happening is it'll knock us right into the pits below. So that's something that I wanted to avoid. Now you're getting into having a lot more platforms, a lot more open stuff. Here we go. Here's one of these skeletons throwing bones, and obviously if that thing would have hit me while I was on the edge there, I would have just fell directly into one of those pits. Here we go. We're going to continue walking. Some of these paths are not that hard. Some of them are extremely difficult. It all depends on what's going on. Some of them have random platforms, and those random platforms, they don't really serve a purpose, but a lot of people who look for secrets and everything, especially like way back in the day when this came out, I would go and try to see if I could reach a platform, either by jumping or if there was like a secret staircase. In some cases there are, and there are a lot of secrets all around this game. Here's one over here where we're gonna see a bag pop up or a crown. That's how we got like all this, you get like extra points and whatnot. There we go, there's the bag. I knew it was somewhere around there. Stopwatch makes it a little easier to like get through all this. And then when we get over here, you want to be careful. I really hate these things. I do. There we go. Another fall down. Oh, I can't stand those things. I really can't. They put them purposely in the middle of nowhere so that way you actually do take that tumble. It's a great way to like lose lives. Eventually, if you learn the pattern of the game, that's how you basically survive. Games had a way different vibe back then. You had to recognize patterns. You had to, you had your free men, but then you would level up, and then you would you'd have to gain a bunch of points in order to get to like a free man, so that you could continue your whole fight throughout the entire game. There we go. We'll freeze this guy, and then we'll take him out. That makes it a lot easier. Yeah, there were a lot of secrets in these games, and the secrets basically allowed for the, like for you to increase in score, increase in, free lives, get you to go through the game a little bit easier. A lot of wild stuff here, though. I really do miss when gaming was like this. Gaming was pretty wild back in the day. If I'm being honest, it really was. There was a lot of insanity that went down with this. Here we go. These are the platforms I'm talking about. Like, you get platforms like that, and then you get like a Medusa or something, and it'll knock you into there. Oh, that's just annoying. So here we go. This is one of the classics, is the mummies. And in this area, the mummies themselves, it didn't matter which one you hit. You would have to hit both eventually, and there we go. There's some meat there to help you out while you're fighting two mummies at the same time. But each one is taking damage for the other one. There we go. So now we've completed that leg of the game, and now we're able to go to the next stage. It's kind of weird that the stages go by threes, and I consider each sort of level a stage. I don't know why they did it like this. It is what it is, though. Again, I'm not going to play through the full game. If you do want to see the full game playthrough, then definitely go check out Dark Retro. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below. And as you can see, this game really is not that long. It really isn't. It'll take you like 30 minutes to get end to end. without any problems. Oh, there we go, dead again. Gotta love these things. A lot of pretty wild scenarios that you could get into where you could get hurt. Those bats, it doesn't matter where you're at, they'll definitely just appear out of nowhere. These guys are annoying as well, these mermen. The really wild thing is that, like, later on they actually spit, and you know, not in this game, but later on, as they decided to kind of like increase the difficulty, they made it so that these guys will spit, and if they do spit, you end up actually like getting knocked out. Thank goodness I was like stuck there, otherwise he would, when that bat hit me, it would have been bad news for me. Here we go, we're almost to the end of this area. Just a couple of more jumps. I don't mind the jumps though, I kind of miss these platformers. Again, these were kind of cool back in the day. Alright. Oh, this is what I was talking about earlier. These is where you're going to see these eagles drop these flea men, and I just can't stand it. I can't stand them. You could take out the eagle. If you take out the eagle, it takes out the rider as well. But, you know, like if you get enough of these guys there, as you can see, I'm in a little bit of trouble. I really, those things aggravate me. It's one of the most difficult things to come across. I remember when I got to the end of this game on the original Nintendo, I actually used a one of those turbo things, and I was able to take it and slow-mo the game, which was basically it automatically started and restarted and whatnot, which was pretty wild. So here we go, we're gonna get through here. These halls, and then at the end of this one, I believe, is Frankenstein. Frankenstein and Igor. Two annoying characters. And then we get to, I believe there's one more stage with the Grim Reaper, and then we get to Dracula himself, which is pretty wild. So, that being said, I'm going to end it on this note. You'll see me defeat Frankenstein and Igor, and then you know, like the game will continue. But anyway, again, if you want to see the full playthrough plus all kinds of other playthroughs, definitely go and check out Dark Retro. You know, I played through a bunch of different games over there on all kinds of systems. You know, everything from like PlayStation, PlayStation 2, the original Nintendo, the original Sega. We have a lot of fun there, and there's a lot of other things that I do there as well, other games, other systems, as long as it's old. Anyway, that's all there is for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you like and subscribe to these channels. It helps them both out a whole heck of a lot. And until next time, I want you all to be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one. We'll see what we come up with for the next couple of seconds there as I'm walking.